So last year we had the film Longlegs have the best horror marketing campaign for a film that blew my mind and got me amped out of my mind. And this year, that film was Weapons when I saw the teaser trailer. And really all it consisted of was a kid's voice and shots of kids at night running. And it seems simplistic enough, and it is, but man, was it effective.
Super effective.
And that's all I needed to see. I am not somebody who needs to see anything more than that. I got a good enough idea, and my expectations were monumental. I was somebody who I liked Barbarian. Mm-hmm. I wasn't as big on as everyone else, so that made me a little hesitant because I was like, I don't know. But that being said, I was still hyped out of my mind.
Yeah.
So, did this film live up to the expectation and the anticipation? Let's discuss. So, if you didn't already know, this is directed by Zach Cregger, who directed Barbarian. This is his sophomore effort, and this is about a town where in the middle of the night at 2:17 a.m., 17 kids get up, walk out the front door, run down the middle of the street, and are never seen again. And everyone's wondering, left wondering, what the hell happened? And they all just so happen to be in the same classroom.
Yep.
So all the blame falls on one person.
Yes.
So this stars Julia Garner, as well as Josh Brolin, and Alden Ehrenreich. All people who are most recently part of the MCU with Thanos, the Silver Surfer, and I won't say in case you haven't watched the one Alden Ehrenreich's in. But, yeah, I mean, let's just get to it. So, earlier in the year, The Ugly Stepsister was my number one, and it has stayed as such for all that time, but it has officially been dethroned. This is a easy 10 for me. A perfect film from start to finish. A perfectly balanced film.
Yeah.
Right? I think that is what I was the most impressed with. But what did you think?
Yeah, I love this film. I think it's probably my favorite as well. I mean, the only other film that's like maybe up there with it is Sinners, because I really love Sinners. But this one is amazing. I agree. I think it's really balanced with the horror, and then there's some kind of unexpected humor that plays really well into everything. And
I would say it's beyond some. There's a
yeah,
lot.
But it's balanced, like you said. So it's
balanced,
like,
yeah.
It doesn't feel lopsided either way, but it's not a horror comedy. I don't want anybody to
No.
think it's that. It's just that there's some really well-timed moments where you as the audience member are kind of, like, you're reacting along with characters on screen for some stuff that's just kind of ridiculous, I guess.
Sure, some are truly funny because they're
Yes.
meant to be, and others are that kind of like, this is so fucking crazy, I don't know what else to do but have like an uncomfortable laugh.
Yeah. I thought it was so, I mean, the format too, like the storytelling format that is used is one of my favorite things. It's done really, really well here.
The structure of the film is phenomenal.
Yeah, very well structured. The cinematography is great. The opening shot is fantastic. I actually really love how the movie opens. I think it's a really strong and like powerful opening. And just genuinely terrifying stuff happening. Really scary things. Multiple like visual stuff going on that is going to be in my head, is going to be in my brain, that I'm going to try not to think about when I'm falling asleep because it really freaked me out. And, just the story itself is very scary, I think, too.
Absolutely.
So, there's a lot of elements at play.
Now, of course, we're going to be doing a spoiler discussion.
Yeah.
You guys won't see this for a couple days, so it doesn't really matter when we record it, but it'll be up pretty soon. So I can't unfortunately touch upon too much here, but we will talk about it there if you have seen it. Or if you're somebody who's like, I don't know, I'm not sold, maybe I need more discussion on it, I don't care about spoilers, that's where you can go for that. So I'll try to dance around some of this here. But the subgenre that it does fall into, it is the most underutilized subgenre in horror. And I was so happy when I realized what this actually was.
Yeah.
And the execution of it is flawless.
Oh, so flawless.
There is so much going on in this film. There's a lot of layers to it. I think that the performances are excellent. Mm-hmm. The writing is excellent. This is why I said it's an easy 10 for me, because I don't really have anything that I can say about this film that I would say is a negative. I mean, I found a continuity issue I discussed with Kaylee. I'm still trying to reconcile how that could possibly work. It's nothing big. Honestly, I don't think it's something almost anyone would notice, but I'm always the continuity guy, and I'm always paying attention to that because of how this movie's structured. I noticed it because I was putting the pieces together as it was being told, and I was like, oh, I don't know if that works. But that's such a nitpick. I don't care. Ultimately, that's one of those things where it's like, it's a movie. I don't really give a shit. It's not egregious. It's not lazy. It's nothing like that. So, yeah, the balance of the humor and the horror is incredible, because there are horror comedies, right? You have The Evil Dead 2 and the more, even more goofy, more obvious horror comedies, like recently we watched The Parenting and stuff like that, where it's like really, really heavy comedy and everything's winked to the audience.
Right.
Nothing like that is going on in this film at all.
No.
It has a similarity in the humor style of Barbarian, so that shouldn't be surprising. But what's great about the comedy in this is that comedy is typically in place for levity. It breaks tension, right? But ultimately, there's scenes that are happening where it's horrific and horror is going on and the audience is frightened, and they're also laughing at certain moments.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really break the tension, which is an incredible feat in my opinion. Because typically if you're laughing while something scary is going on, that usually means that you're finding it dumb. You're finding it silly. You're like, oh, this is goofy. But it's so insane in the moment that people are kind of having a wide array of emotions in that moment. And I think that him being able to execute both horror and humor simultaneously while keeping both at like a 10, where people are like really laughing but they're also really terrified, is honestly like a masterclass.
Yeah, I think that part of it also has to do with, like, we saw this in a really packed
sold out,
theater.
Huge theater too.
And it was a great theater experience in general. So I don't know that all those moments that you'll necessarily be laughing if you're watching this in a like smaller theater, or like if you watch it at home or something, because part of it is like the just the energy from like a bunch of people in a room watching something that's like really uncomfortable.
Yeah, everyone in the theater was laughing at the same time.
Yeah. So I guess that's also maybe something to point out when we're talking about like the humor, is I really don't want people to think that it's a horror comedy, because it's not.
No.
It's not at all. If you're somebody that really is like, I like scary, like straight movies, I think you could safely go into this, because it's not like, it's not a goofy movie. It's none of those things.
No, I think it very much lines up with his previous film Barbarian, which I'm probably, unless Kaylee protests, I am planning on watching tonight. Because I'm so curious on how I'll feel about that film. But I feel like anywhere where he may have had a misstep and maybe took it a little too far this way or that way, he found the balance in this film, right? So where in that film, there is a structural narrative device in that movie as well, that breaks it up, as does this film have that going on in it. And in that one, it felt jarring, and it took a while to kind of get back its atmosphere. It took a while to get back to what it was going for, and once it got there, it really tried to ramp things up. But this one is so even, and its trajectory is always escalating. I never felt like the breaks, and I don't want to say how it's structured, but there's a structure to the narrative where typically those kinds of things can reset. And I never felt like that. I felt like the tension always felt palpable. And that is incredible because of how this story is told. And then, I think here's where I was. The movie's 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Every second of that felt justified for me.
Yeah.
This does not feel like an overlong film. Some guy walked out being like, this was a really slow burn. I don't know what the fuck that guy's talking about.
This is not a slow burn
This
movie,
is an
in our
insanely engaging and
Yes.
entertaining film from frame one to frame's end.
There's
we
a lot
have
happening.
extremely complex three-dimensional characters
Yeah.
that are deeply flawed in certain regards, but feel very human.
Yes.
And then you have, so what I was getting to is we get to the climax. We're at the end game. Thanos, get it? And you have probably 20 minutes left of the runtime. And I remember, I didn't say it to Kayla, but I was sitting there and I was thinking, because I knew that's what it was. Like when we got to the place where people are walking up to somewhere, I was like, okay, this is the climax. Here we go. And I sat there in my head and I said, if they can nail this, this is going to be a modern classic. This is going to be a masterpiece. This is going to be my favorite film of the year. If they can pull this off. And I didn't know. I was like, are we going to have just like we almost stuck the landing. No.
The ending?
The ending's better than I could
amazing.
have thought it would have been.
Yeah.
So it was like ramping up, and I'm like, oh God, if they can nail this. And I'm just watching, and I remember just like, if you could have got a camera on me in the theater, I literally, I felt like an idiot at times, because I was just like a kid in a candy store. I was just so happy, and I was, as soon as a character does something, they grab something, I was like, I know where this is going, and the way it's executed, fucking perfection.
So good. Yeah, it's such a fantastic ending, like literally a perfect ending to the movie.
It has got some absolutely brutal moments.
Yes.
There is some hilarious, laugh out loud, very relatable moments. There is some, like, everyone in the whole audience going, ugh, at the same time.
Yes.
A lot of absolutely, like...
There's a lot of tension, a lot of, like, suspense, and, like, you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like, those kinds of moments. And then, not I guess you would call them jump scares, but not the corny, cheesy, bad ones. Like, ones that are perfectly timed, that you're like, oh, that's a horrible image, I don't want to see that again. And
it's not a single cheap jump scare
stuff
in
like
the
that.
film.
Yeah.
There's nothing stupid in the movie to me. The terrifying elements are going to get stuck in your mind.
This movie should have... I mean, I think it will be very successful. Like, I think that it's going to be getting a ton of praise and people are going to be watching it. But this is the kind of film that it's like, if it was released in October, oh my god. Like, it's just such a perfect... But it's the kickoff for the spooky season, Yeah. And it's a great kickoff for it. So, go see it on Friday.
Oh my god.
Go to the movie theater. Or on Thursday night. Go see it.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
I have a feeling this one's going to be extremely successful. Not only with the audience, but with the box office as well. I think this has generated a lot of buzz. I think they had a perfect marketing campaign. I think that the word of mouth is going to drive that up even higher, because pretty much every person walking out of that theater, outside of that one guy that was like, it was a real slow burn, but it had a good ending. I was like, get the fuck out of here. But outside of that guy, almost every person I saw, because I usually listen. We have the person taking down notes for any of the reviewers that show up. So I stood right by him the whole time listening, and like 7-8 people in a row. Best movie of the year. Yeah. Best movie of the year. Best movie of the year. Best movie of the year. My favorite movie of the year. My favorite horror movie of the year. Fucking phenomenal. Amazing. So
yeah. And it has a very iconic, like, you know, I mean, just from the trailer, this run that the kids do. It's a very memorable, iconic thing from the film that is going to be, like, it'll be a meme. It'll be on the internet, like, in a week or, you know, by next Monday, probably.
And Julia Garner is a busy lady. She was in The Wolfman. Yeah. She was in fucking Fantastic Four. She's in this.
Such a talented actress. She's so, like, and she's so beautiful and so just, like,
beautiful.
I feel like everything we see her in, she's so solid. You know, even though we were, like, not insanely impressed with The Wolfman, like, there was some unique stuff. And she's, you know, she's so solid in everything she does. So, this is a classic. This is an instant classic.
Yeah.
And definitely check out our spoiler discussion, because we'll be talking about things in the film, and go see it.
Yeah, a couple last points here. Number one, so Zach Cregger is releasing, supposedly, we'll see if any dates get pushed, but he is the man behind the next Resident Evil movie. That's supposed to come out in September of next year. That seems quick, but after seeing this, oh my God in heaven. Like, if that guy can put anything even remotely close to this on screen and make it a Resident Evil film, which he's already went on record saying, like, I've never even seen another Resident Evil movie. I'm not really interested in them. I'm a huge fan of the games, and I want to make them as close to the games as possible. I mean, that could be amazing shit, because the Resident Evil franchise, especially those first, like, 4 games, are just ripe for you know, adaptations on screen and really something special. So I can't tell you how much that has skyrocketed my anticipation for that. Now that this is seen, I would say Keeper is probably my number one most anticipated left for the year. There's quite a few. Jimmy and Stiggs is another major one that I'm super excited. We get to see that in 2 weeks. And then lastly here, I guess I should probably bring this up in our spoiler discussion. I actually might even make a video on this, but I was talking to Kaylee about this in the car, about, like, what do you guys think for yourself? Just so we can get the conversation started, and then we can talk about it in the next video. So I'll leave a to be continued here. But my question is, what constitutes to you? What's the criteria that you need to consider a year successful for the horror genre? This is something that I am so interested to hear your response on. So for anyone who's still here, what does it have to have? Like, X amount of movies, percentage of movies that you watched, and how many of them were great or good? Like, what does that constitute for you to be a good year? And what years would you consider good? And how does that hold up to your criteria? Because I really start to question how much more scrutiny is put on years like this, modern years, versus the old gold past.
Yes.
Where they look at the 80s and they're like, oh, the 80s is untouchable. And I'm like, okay, go year by year. Look at every film you saw during that year.
Yeah.
Whether you were alive or not, doesn't matter. Just any year you can find. And look at it, you know, pound for pound, percentage, heavy hitters, whatever your criteria is. Because I have seen so many people, mostly on Killer Flicks. Sorry, Lee McCoy. He put me back in that group, and I've just seen nothing but people being like, 2025 is a bad year for horror. And I'm sitting here now having 5 out of 5s for the year.
Yeah.
which I only give out 5 out of 5s. I only gave out 2 last year, and I said it was the greatest year for horror maybe ever. And I have 4 already, and we still have 4 months to go. We haven't even entered October. And people are like, it's a bad year when you have The Ugly Stepsister, The Girl with the Needle, Sinners, Bring Her Back. I mean, the fucking list goes on and on and on. So, and now, Weapons, which I think is a fucking masterpiece. Right? So, what has to happen for people to think that we've had a good year for horror? This is my 127th horror film this year. And I've loved or really enjoyed at least 35, 40 of them at bare minimum. I'd have to really go look at the list. But I've seen a lot of that sentiment, especially lately. I've seen a bunch of those posts in the last week. And after watching this tonight, I'm really thinking back about the year and going, what is it ever going to take for you guys to see that this is a golden age for horror?
Yeah.
It's either you have unrealistic expectations, you are too jaded, or you are trying to relive what you felt as a child as an adult, which is never going to happen. Stop trying to hold films to that, like, standard.
Yeah.
It's just, you're not a kid anymore. Nothing's going to scare you like The Exorcist or The Poltergeist or whatever the Poltergeist. Poltergeist, I sound like a fucking idiot. Anyway, I'm just done. So please, comments below. We'll talk about this more. Maybe I'll make a video on it. I really want to know what people's thoughts are on that. Because this year is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And this is the cream of the crop in another phenomenal year.
Yeah.
So many years in a row. We've had killer film after killer film. And everyone's like, horror sucks. What the fuck are you talking about?
You're not watching enough horror.
Or you just have shit taste. I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, that's that. Go see this movie immediately. Take a friend. Take the mom. Take the friend. You know, no, they're going to be mad at you. Take whoever will go.
Yes.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.